Leave a message after the tone.
You got several questions due. Your life is going down the tubes. What do you do when you need advice?
This is where it gets good. Good night.
What am I fighting for?
So turn down the lights, pick up the phone and leave a message for the new
Welcome to another episode of Nude Clan After Dark After Joe. I am your host, Caleb Schweiss.
Caleb Gregg. And Cameron.
Today, let's see what kind of fucking trouble we can get ourselves in on the internet.
Ooh.
First up.
Hey, New Clan, this is Jared. I've got a question for you. I've come to a revelation after listening to some of my favorite episodes that my roommate is Cody. He was late on rent again this month. How long do I let Cody live in my house? What do I do to stop him from being Cody? And how do I make sure I never have a Cody again? All right, keep it new, guys. Thanks.
Okay, so first up, I'm sorry that you have to put up with that.
Is he really, really greasy?
Yeah, is he greasy?
Like
Does the
50%
sun-
grease.
Does the sun melt
Anyways,
his flesh?
What is a Cody in someone's life? A Cody is just someone who is there and likes to absorb resources, but then give bare minimum in return. That's a Cody. Someone who's a drain more than they give back. Especially when they're renting or living with you.
Yeah, as far as how to get rid of a Cody,
basically just move, expecting
basically
him to, like with him expecting you to move with him.
Get
and
kicked out, and because of him, you get kicked out of where you're living. And when he wants you to sign the fucking lease for the new place, you just tell him, "Don't worry about it." And you just.
Another successful way to get rid of someone like that, Season 1, Episode 9 of Game of Thrones, Khal Drogo smothering pillow. So you wait till he's in a deep sleep, and you just hold the pillow over his face. There will be some kicking and some wailing, but if he's a Scode, he cannot overpower you, and he will suffocate.
You can just smoke him out by tossing a smoke grenade.
All you
room.
discover at the pillow thing is that he doesn't actually need that much air to exist. And the whole time it was just futile because he just didn't even notice you're doing it.
He was still asleep.
Scode lives off of the grease.
I like Cameron's idea though. Move out,
but it's his house. He has a Cody renting, is what it sounds like. It's his place. A Cody has moved in and has taken hold, has made his nest.
You need to burn the cocoon.
Yeah, you got to burn down your house. That's how you got to do it.
Or whenever his rental agreement is up, just tell him, like, hey...
down the house.
Just say, like, hey, you know...
He could still get the insurance because it would be a grease fire.
That's true, yeah.
Just, Jesus. You guys didn't even have to live with him.
Make sure you put it out.
I did.
I lived with him for years.
Not the same way I did. You got part of the part of the
he
Cody.
Fucking ripped me off multiple times.
I lived with him for years, man.
And... did he fucking get you kicked out?
No, he didn't, because I make law and order happen when I live in a place. Sometimes there was a day where I was like, Cody, I need a fork. Like there are no forks out here, and he's like, all right. And then he goes back in his room, and like 5 minutes later, I knock on his door, and I'm like, Cody, I need the fork, and he's like, yeah, I heard you. I'm like, I need the fork now, man. I need to fucking eat. Now. I didn't ask for a fork in an hour. I asked for a fork now. I shouldn't have to ask you for a fork that's in your fucking room. They're my forks. All of them are mine. Nothing here is yours. But my fork is in your room, man. And you're just like, and he was being a bitch about it. He was like, fine. And then I was like, you know what? Just give me the fork. I'll wash it off, Cody. I'll wash the fork. Don't worry about exerting yourself. I'll get your fucking syrup off the fork from your pancakes that you had 4 days ago, and I'll scrub for an hour because I want to eat some eggs, Cody. Fucking how you get rid of them is you make them leave. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Just tell them, like, look, man, it's not working out. Our friendship, here's what you got to hit him with this, and I've done this to Caleb. Our friendship is suffering because of us being roommates. I don't want it to be detrimental to that, so I think you should move out. That's how you do it.
Huh.
And it can be true. It really can. I feel like we've all had that with each other. Where like,
but sometimes a Cody needs that type of wake-up call in his life, where if you just let him do just keep to his Cody ways, and you're enabling him in a sense, like letting him stay that way. So he needs
Scott,
that wake-up
for example,
call.
had Sarah that was his enabler.
She still is.
She would
enabling
supplant his bad habit.
So maybe that's what he needs. I don't know if he signed a lease or whatnot, and what are the rules of terminating his lease, and then the rules of late payment. But, do what you can to keep your friend, if he is a friend, keep a friendship with him. If he's not a friend, then just fucking kick him out.
Yeah. You just got to find a way to move on, I'd say. See what we got. Oh, you got more?
No, I was just like, it's for his own betterment as well.
Yeah, it won't do him any good for you to let him stay there if he's just going to be freeloading and whatnot. So, see what else we got.
Hey guys, this is Richard. I love the show. I just had a question for you guys. What are your thoughts on college? I myself have a animation degree from 2009 that's pretty much worthless so far. And I kind of think college is not worth anything. I just want to know what your guys' opinions are on the matter. Thanks. Love the show.
Okay.
From the wealth of college knowledge that we have here at the table, this amount of school that we've all been to is just so overpowering.
Yeah, all of our schooling together equals 1 degree.
I think Cameron and I's together is 1 degree.
So
Cameron, mine and yours would probably be a 2-year, Caleb.
Yeah.
I only have like 4 more credits or 8 more credits.
Wow.
Or something.
You're so close.
It doesn't matter. It's not going to do me any good to get it. It's like a
and see that's
look.
the
I
argument
got
right here.
something. I know that's the irony is it doesn't do any good. So like,
but it did. A large part of it, I feel, stems from your ability to learn and how much of a go-getter you are. So certain people don't need degrees because they have the personality and the knowledge themselves to get what they want regardless, whereas a degree is a great stepping stone for most people to get into a career they want.
Yeah. I would say a degree in an art isn't necessarily useful by itself. It's the networking that you're able to do while you're in school. It's the contacts you're able to make, the people you're able to affiliate
and certain jobs require just a degree just because it proves you can learn something that is hard. You can put in the time that it takes to learn that.
I think, I would be like bachelor's required or Dark Souls 3 Platinum. You know? That's what I would put on my...
Yeah, you got to play Dark Souls 3 and then you get the job. It's like, okay.
I can tell you're dedicated because that game's fucked up.
But there's certain careers that it's almost impossible to get in without a degree.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what the degree is in, and that's what makes me think it's not really useful. It's just a status thing. In a lot of ways, it isn't.
It isn't.
And sometimes it can be a status thing, but it's also a differential between, hey, you have 2 candidates, they've both been doing this thing for X amount of years of their life. One has a degree, one does not. Well, let's take the person who learned to do it, who's actually put in that extra time to earn a degree. We're going to take him over the person who hasn't.
Yeah, and I would
Unless
say...
you already work for a company and you have
be...
given that company a lot of your time, and they trust you and know you can do it, then you might have more of an advantage there.
It kind of depends.
It depends on the situation. In my personal opinion, it's always better to have the degree than not.
Yeah, and honestly, the most important thing to me is probably the generals, because there's a lot of things in there that are really great to learn about. I mean, your English skills. Mine going into college, one of my strongest areas on my ACT test, not strong, I found out when I went to college, not like I thought it was. So, I mean, you learn a lot of ways to write, a lot of ways to speak, and honestly, it gives you, like, the philosophy classes were some of my favorite in college because it allowed me to really digest different ways of thinking and kind of put myself in other people's shoes and be like, well, I hate this person, but why? You know, and like I think about like where they're coming from. Like, okay, they have this and this and this going on. I haven't had that. Maybe that's why they act a certain way. I feel like a lot of the general classes that people hate taking because they're people that wanted to go to a trade tech school but are too stupid to apply for a trade tech school and instead went to a university and are complaining about having to learn about something that's not their trade. Those people are fucking assholes. And that's, I think, what the most you get out of it. It's the way you're able to learn. And for me, I can kind of learn every which way. I learn by doing it myself. That's probably my strongest. I can learn by seeing someone else do it. I can learn by reading about how to do it. So, like, I feel like going to school kind of gives you those skills, and that's not something you would have otherwise. As far as it being useless, I honestly think it depends on the degree you take and what you do with that. Because there are plenty of people that have like film degrees like Joe that aren't making movies because they chose to not make movies.
Joe is kind of going through that as well, where he feels like his degree might not be, what the thing that makes him money in the future.
It'll be his go-getter.
It's his attitude that
you.
gets the money. It's the degree just kind of seals the deal in certain cases.
Yeah, and doing those courses allowed him to learn a lot of things that are not necessarily things a director needs to know, but by knowing them, he can make the movies for less because he can do a lot of the stuff in post. He doesn't like doing it, obviously, but...
You were going to say something, Craig?
Yeah, it's mostly just like, for me, generals are something that should just be high school. Like, fucking high school needs to be more, there needs to be more education before the college, and college should just be the trade school.
So you're thinking high school
honestly,
is more difficult, so just more stuff to learn, more emphasis on learning early.
There needs to be more time for education, less like huge breaks.
So just a revamp of the United States educational system.
Essentially, yeah, that's exactly what I want, because like there should be the trade schools, and then like as far as like art degrees and stuff go, it's like based entirely on your skill and your portfolio. So not necessarily
it's
going
really
to,
not, though.
It is in a lot of ways. Like it's partially networking, but your portfolio is literally
that is
the biggest
the
part
statement of what you are capable of.
Yeah, but you don't have to be good necessarily to get.
You do, though.
Yeah,
it's different for like an art thing than it is like say programming. Like it's not in the same vein of things.
Honestly, and it's honestly what I would say too is. Who are you to say it's a useless degree? You learned a lot as an artist. You're an artist.
That means if it means something to you, you got a degree in it, and now it's up to you how you use that degree
to make money. Yeah,
is it useless in a way to make money? You haven't found a way to get into that. Into that market. Is it because you don't have that go-getter attitude to go the extra mile for a harder degree, or is it really just because no one wants someone with the degree that you have?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about passion degrees, and I think that might be what this guy got, and I think that's what Joe got. Joe knows that he's not going to make a lot of money because of his degree. You can make a shitload of money, but most people don't really go that hardcore into it. I mean, there's a guy at the post office that has the exact same degree as Joe. He definitely makes more money than Joe does right now. But
there's a guy at my office who has the same degree as Joe, and he's a computer programmer now and makes a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to make a lot of money, go into computer programming. You can't go wrong. You'll spend a lot to go to school, but it won't be like going to getting your doctorate.
No.
So it's reasonable. You can pay for it yourself. Cameron doesn't have any loans.
No.
You're able to do
loans.
it. You just got to slowly partake, and if that's something you're interested in, go for it.
But looking back now, where I have X amount of responsibilities in my life that I have to pay for, if I could just turn back the clock and take out one fat student loan and just go to school instead of going to work, I might go that way.
Yeah,
I wish I could turn back time.
I wish I could have
my degree fucking
done the real college experience right after, and then just done school,
and then be still paying on my degree right now. You know what? If I could do that, I might actually go that route. I know it's a ton of debt, but having your degree is just a sense of accomplishment.
Well, and we're in our late 20s now. Yeah. It's like we're behind. As far as the degrees go, and your job, it does help you, but you don't have to get it necessarily.
I don't necessarily have to get it. We have been hiring people off of coding boot camps recently, and to me, I'm like, I could spend $5,000 or $9,000 to do a coding boot camp as a step up to get to where I want to go, but to me, a degree just means so much more, and that's on a personal level as well as a professional level.
But why does it mean more?
Because they've shown that you can educate yourself. You can take the time it takes
Well,
to acquire
you can
knowledge.
argue that the boot camp would also do
Boot
the same.
camps are only
because
like
it
3
would,
months, though.
It would train you in exactly what you want to learn.
It's like the
and
difference
it would
between
be cutting out the middleman
It's-
of like the other stuff that they force you.
The difference
to learn
between a
for
boot
the
camp
degree.
and getting a degree is like getting a job certificate versus getting a degree. It's shown that you're competent in a certain skill rather than showing that you have a degree in a science.
Yeah, I think either you need to accept the fact that you're going to not make any money, or you need to be realistic about life and say, you know what, I need to make money, and I don't really like the philosophy of do what you love and make it work, like live your dream. Like, that doesn't always work. It's not living your dream if you're streaming on Twitch and you're getting $100 a month and you're homeless in 2 months. That's not living your dream. You have to have realistic dreams. And sometimes those realistic dreams will require you to go to college. And if they do, I would go for something like Cameron, or like where you're doing like computer programming.
Well,
you're doing something you know you're going to make money if that's what you want. If you're
money
going
shouldn't
for,
be the only driver, though. I mean, if
No,
you
it shouldn't.
fucking hate programming, sitting at a desk
Don't
all
do
day,
it.
even though you're making at some places 100,000 or more programming, you fucking hate life because every day you're doing something you don't enjoy. So
I do that
these
every day
passion-
with work, though, so I don't care.
these passion degrees, like, I don't want to say you can't get them because it's something that drives you, but you just have to keep that driving force going even after you have the degree. You have to do that thing that makes you happy,
Yeah.
and be happy
And
with the
I
amount of
think
money you get from
I
it.
think sometimes there comes a point where you have to cut it loose, or you have to do it as a side
It did,
thing.
I mean, if it's a part of your life where you need more money and you
Yeah,
have
if
to
you-
put your passion on the side so you can support your family, there are things you have to do. But I would never say not go after your passion because it's just not financially feasible.
I would say stay afloat and go after it. And if that means not going after it full time, that's how life works. You
And
can't
it's-
just do
It's the dedication
the
to the
fun
thing
thing.
that makes you happy, that makes life worth it
Yeah.
by itself. But
But I
you know, the dedication can pay off. in
it
the
can,
end.
yeah. But
So-
you need to accept the fact that you're an adult
Yeah.
now, and sometimes it
I
won't
mean,
pay
I did
off.
the same thing where I like to be very hands-on and make things, and I'm very good at stuff like woodworking and metalworking, stuff like that. And I like being hands-on. Like, I started school before I switched my science I started out as behavioral science because I had to be hands-on with people, talking about people. But in my mind, there's just I enjoy doing it, but there's no money in it. I also enjoy creating things, and you can create things with code, and that's fun. But you can also make much more money at it than everything else. And
Yeah.
so that was my train of thought when I switched my degree over.
Yeah, and mine for stopping going was this is just a high school diploma version 2. And
well,
I don't
what degree were
need,
you going for?
Business management.
Well, there you go.
I'm already great as a manager. I'm not great at managing our business necessarily, but it kind of does it itself. Everything's set up to be paid for. But it's just it's not something I like enough to do. It's something I'm good at, but I think it's easy to be good at. And I for me, it was like it's not actually going to benefit me, so I stopped going because I was just paying money into something that I wasn't passionate about, one. And for two, I don't think is actually going to help me out in the real world that much.
I mean, having a degree by itself can
It can,
help you.
yeah. It opens doors.
It gets you into places you couldn't get into otherwise, even if it's not the thing that you wanted to do right away. It makes it easier to get there.
Yeah,
because
which
you
is
have that degree.
which is why so many arguments come up of is it useless? And in that case, it kind of is, because people won't look at what the degree is. They're like, "Oh, you have a degree." Thus, you
again
must be
depends
better.
on. What
Sometimes they
you're going for.
will. Like Cameron's will be very specific. He will advance at his job because he will get the degree he has or he's going for. I would say I work to live, and I separate work and personal life as much as I can, unless I'm hanging out with work buddies and personal buddies. But work is just an evil thing that you must do to then
that
live and have
makes
fun.
life fucking shit. When you wake up every day doing something you hate and you're living for the vacation, the brief respite in between, this fucking slog at work.
Yeah.
That just makes life not fun.
I don't think I hate it, though. I don't think I've had one that I have, and I quit. But I don't.
remember what you were saying yesterday, drunk Schweiss telling the truth.
About what?
About
Post office?
Yeah. I mean, you said it's evil. You don't like it.
It is evil. It's a cumbersome, ass-licking, unionized piece of shit. And it's all based on how long you've been there. And everyone's like, well, that's just fair. I'm like, no, it's not fair for the lazy cocksucker to get converted and be a real employee before me just because he got here first. Like, just because they say this is the rule doesn't mean it's fair. I don't think you know what fair means, you fucking asshole. When's the last time you looked up fair in the dictionary? Did it say those who are next in line must be the best, thus they deserve what's given to them? No. You set the rules up, and then they make bullshit rules, and then everyone says, oh, that's fair based on the rule. It's not fair. Fuck the rule. That's what I say. Revolt. Tear the rule down if it's a wrong rule.
Japanese business is based on both like seniority and merit. So
yeah, and it's all seniority there. That's why it's so garbage, and that's why we have cocksucker supervisors who are just idiots. They're idiots, and they're like, it's such a prison sex mentality where like, oh well, they fucked me over when I was a recruit. I'm gonna fuck you over now. I'm like, yeah, that's the thing to do, you fucking douchebag. Make it just as miserable for us as it is for you.
Break the cycle of rage.
Exactly.
Rage against the machine.
That's why I hate it. I hate the bureaucracy and the fact that there's nothing I can do about it. But I don't hate the job itself. I think it's fine. It's very physical. I walk a lot. I enjoy it. I enjoy the people I work with. But even when it's not a great job, I try my hardest to just separate the two and be like, this is just to supplement the things that I enjoy. And if you can kind of create a wall there, I think you can overcome a lot of things.
Okay.
And if you can't, you got to get out. It becomes a dead end. It becomes a frayed hair that needs clipping.
Right.
But as far as the college thing, I think it really depends.
So
it's up to you.
I also want to bring up where a college degree now doesn't mean the same thing it did when our parents our parents were going to school. College degree back then really was a mark of something. You did something exemplary.
Yeah, it meant more.
You put in the dedication. College degree meant more. Now it's just like a second diploma that you kind of now need to get into a real job, and it's just this financial burden that's now just placed on everyone who wants to get to a leg up, basically.
Yeah.
Whereas
tens of thousands of dollars.
the meaning of a degree itself is less, whereas the amount you're paying for it is more.
Yeah. So I think you.
Whereas
need to,
before you could excel with a great work ethic without a degree. You could educate yourself, and you could still set yourself apart from someone else. Whereas now it's
harder.
To do that even with a degree.
Yeah. And that's why in a lot of ways I don't think it's worth it. If you get yourself into a ton of debt, it's not really worth it because a lot of people change their degrees around. Almost everyone changes their degree. And to me, if you put 20 grand into a degree that you don't finish, that's a giant waste.
You know what? How to set yourself apart now? Just, don't just stop at one degree. You got to fucking go all the way, man. Fucking multiple degrees, PhDs. That's how you set yourself
Dr.
apart
Schweiss,
now.
Yeah.
That's how you get yourself ahead and more debt.
Yeah, and that's the hard part is like, I think you need to be fiscally responsible with it. Like Cameron and I, we'd never have taken out loans. We just pay for the semesters. Cameron's further along than I am.
It's
but
hell, though.
It's expensive, and it's hard.
expensive, and you end up taking less credits a semester than you could just because you want to go to work.
You don't want to be in the debt.
And it's hard to go to school full time. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. There are some really, forces of nature out there who can just do it.
Yeah, you just have to give up any semblance of free time.
I am not someone who can do that. I struggled having two jobs for a while. I didn't need to have two jobs. I just thought it'd be fun for a while. And I hated it. I hated not having free time. And personally, for me, working full time and going to school full time is not a possibility for me. I'm just being honest.
And you know what?
But that just makes school go so fucking long.
Unless you take summer courses, that you can cut it down. And that's the best way to go, is go 3/4 time and then get the rest of it made up in summer, and you have a full year. You don't get as much off time, but you're not going to be putting a 4-year degree into 6 years. You're going to get it done in 4, and it's going to be tough, but as long as you can keep covering it, it's not a problem. And then when you get done, you don't have the student debt that everyone else has. You're not saddled with all of that. And if you stop going like I did, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I put a lot of fucking money into that, but I don't feel like I've lost any of it. I don't feel like the information that I learned, the things that I learned about, the classes I took, I don't feel like they were wasted. I feel like they just didn't end in a degree. I think I am a different person. I think differently. I know more than I did before I went in. So even if you do stop, it's not a complete loss. Unless you're in massive debt and you fucking quit going, and then it sucks because you got nothing out of it technically.
Yeah, another thing that with like jobs and stuff that Joe said he was experiencing is that he had to take his degree off his resume because the
there's
tier
that gap,
jobs
yeah.
will fuck you because they don't want to hire you because you'll pass.
But
them
then again, that's
because
the
you're
type of job.
overqualified.
That's the type of job Joe is applying for, though. Honestly.
Well, I know, but I mean, if you can't get a job in your field and you just need anything to supplement for a while until you can, and you keep getting fucked because you have a higher
That's that because he keeps
education.
applying to places that have small mind mentalities where it's seniority over over expertise, and then they don't want someone who's more knowledgeable and than them working under them because they'll feel like they'll usurp them at some point.
Yeah. There are companies that will do that. I've
But
never run into
if
that.
you go work for a larger company, you have a degree. I mean, it's hard to get in, but once you're in, your education only furthers you. It's not a detriment at that point.
Yeah.
Because they want go-getter people at certain levels. They want those people who are educated because it only helps the company in the long run.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's good. So, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I think it depends on you.
Yeah.
If you use the degree well.
I mean, if you're the type of person who's struggling with school and go, fuck it, I can do it myself without a degree, as long as you keep that that resolution, that personality, and you keep going for it, yeah, you can do anything you want to do without a degree. It's all up to how much effort you're willing to put in, how much extra time you're willing to put in to show that you're better than someone else who got a degree. It's you have to put in that effort.
And sometimes you got to do the camera thing where you have to be realistic about it. You have to say, you know what? I would love to do this other thing, but this thing I like doing, and I'm going to make a lot more money. And if that's what you want,
and
you got to go for it.
I can support. I have a financial goal that I want to reach because in the future I do want to support a family of a certain size, and there's a median middle class house income that makes it easy to do that, and that's my goal.
Yeah, so you make those choices to supplement that goal. Like, fuck, if I were to go to school, I would go for studying the sky. I would be like an astrophysicist. But I don't. That's not fucking realistic at all. I would rather. If I went back, I might change to that instead of business management because I already can do that. But it's completely unrealistic. So now I'm just like, well, might go back at some point if I find something that I'm interested enough in that will give me that money that I want. If not, honestly, I'm just gonna work my ass off until I get a couple houses paid off, and then just fucking chill
and live off of just real estate.
Yeah, real estate. So I mean, you got to have
that's the real
Slumlord
goal.
Schweitz.
Yeah, you got to have a goal.
He's got to have his real life fable where he gets to jack up the rent prices.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that trailer park that Jake lives in. You'll fucking wait. I'll buy the whole goddamn thing and be like, Jacob.
Dude, all you gotta do is go buy a house in California and then sell it.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know about now. I don't know if the housing market's doing too good with everything burning down.
That's true. Oh, maybe it's cheap. It's probably cheap now.
It's cheap.
But then the resale value.
You wait till it gets back up to like Utah ridiculousness, but over in California, so everything's worth millions of dollars. Then you get, and you just
I need to do it when it crashes. So in a couple of years, when everything crashes hard, I'll buy one for like way less out there, and then just let it build for the next 7 years, and then fucking sell the shit out of that thing. And then I retire. But just have a goal and then supplement that goal with your degree, with the things you want. For you, it sounds like you already got the degree, and that kind of sucks.
He did, yeah.
And if it's something you're interested in, you can always try to go back.
Keep developing that skill. I mean, the degree doesn't mean you know everything now in that area. The new things come out. You have to keep up to date, and you have to remember, just keep putting in effort to, doing what made you get the degree in the first place. And even if that doesn't get you money, you do it for yourself. Yeah,
the degree is a tool. The degree can be used by you. The degree in itself is not a force of nature, isn't something that can actively do the thing that you want it to do. You have to wield it in a way that allows you to do it. And sometimes it's a dead-end thing. You might have a degree that you don't care about, and it's over. And in that case,
Do you go back to school?
do you go back or not?
But then that's yeah. Do you go back to school and spend all that money and time again learning a different thing?
Is it worth
or do you just keep pushing forward in a different field? I mean, again, just having a degree sets you apart from those who don't.
Yeah,
And that's already a leg up.
that's a fact. Yeah,
And just find something else that interests you and see how much effort you can put into it. And if you end up finding something else that you like, then maybe you find it feasible to go back to school to learn that thing because you found something else you enjoy.
yeah. So it's really, you just got to make sure it's something you can attain, and if you can obtain it, go for it. If it's not feasible, then you got to put yourself in a position to make it so, and just make sure it's something you really want. And that's what sucks about college is, like, so many people change their degree over and over and over again. You spend all this time and money getting a certain chunk of a degree done, and then it's just
In a
worthless.
world where you can be anything you want to be, you find it hard to find what you do want to be.
Exactly, yeah, and it can be tough. So I don't think it's inherently worthless. I think it's overvalued, and I think we're starting to see that.
Overvalued,
Overvalued, overpriced, but
Overvalued,
not a
overpriced.
bad idea.
and we're starting to lose valuable workers and trade type jobs. Less people are learning trades because we're told now that you're worthless without a college degree.
Or to follow your dreams. I think that fucks us over, too. And our dreams get us into hundreds of thousands of
Well,
dollars
you
of debt.
should follow what makes you happy. I'm not going to argue against that.
I am, if it comes at the cost of everything you own, and half of your monthly income is student loan
You
debt.
can't just say, hey, you have to work a shit job the rest of your life for the good of the betterment of society.
Yeah. I mean, you can. The thing is it's irresponsible to have that much debt, and I can't take anyone's side that does, honestly. I just can't. Following your dream has led you to fiscal graveyard, and that's not a good thing.
So be realistic in your dreams
Yes.
is probably a good point you can take from that.
Yeah, be realistic in your dreams. Not throw them out the window. Like, if I go part-time here in the next little bit, which I might do.
So you're saying just throwing everything you've worked for and running off to California to piece something together might not be the best route to go.
Probably
as far
not.
as realistic dream.
Probably
Okay.
not. But,
There's two people I could have talked that could have met in my life, but
yeah, I know. I thought of the first one, and then I thought of the obvious one, secondly. But, yeah, just, I don't know, just be realistic with it. And if it's something you want, go for it. But do it in a way that you're not in shambles at the end. Because I do know people who aren't even done with their degree, and when they finish, they're going to have $600 of student debts money that they have to pay every month.
$600
Yeah.
a month. Okay, I thought you stopped at $600. I'm like, that's not too bad.
No, she's got like 80 grand, and she's not
Jesus.
even done. And she's going to be able to pay for it if she gets that degree. But if she doesn't, that's going to be fucking insane. It's a lot of money to just be like shelling out that you just can't touch. That has to go to the student loans, and that's the minimum payment on it. So just don't go fucking nuts. Your dream's not worth your fucking financial holocaust, right? But yeah, it's not really going to hurt you necessarily to get a degree. Like Cameron said, it has value.
The degree itself has value, but is it as valuable as what we're paying for it?
Yeah, and to that I would
But that's
say
a separate
probably not
argument
But it all depends
altogether.
on what it is too. There are so many different degrees that mean different things, and like Cameron's, yes, it would be worth what it is because it's going to get him exactly what he wants.
Mm-hmm. I
But
just have to fucking do it.
yeah, and that's because that's a booming industry right now. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that play into it. But yeah, I might go back eventually. I don't know. I might do it just for the hell of it, just to finish it.
Are you gonna go back, Greg? You gonna do it?
Maybe.
And the thing is, it's like it's so whatever at this point that I might do it just like piecemeal. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, thanks for the great questions, guys. We really enjoy getting these fun ones that are pretty in depth. Thankfully, nothing racially charged this week. I gotta step back from that shit. But thank you all for listening to New Clan After Dark. Here is the extended outro because I keep forgetting to download the not so extended outro.
God damn.
Man
yourselves and give up on the world.
Every puzzle has an answer.
You dumbass. Kick logic out and do the impossible. Remember that.
I'm glad I met you guys. It made me pick up on things I probably would have just gone on ignoring.
Don't believe in yourself. Believe in me. Believe in a Kamina who believes in you. Everybody deals with grief differently, right? Some people fuck at funerals. I cut off heads.